Hi guys. So there are two main ways to add fractions with different denominators. And this first way that I'm going to show you is using a common denominator. So if I have 1/2 plus 2/3, you look at it and notice that because you have different denominators, a 2 and a 3, you cannot add straight across. So do not say that this is equal to 3/5. That is not correct. Okay? What we need to do instead is figure out how to make a common denominator. Okay? And in order to do that, we can look for the least common multiple. So what we can have is we list it. We start with our 2 and all the numbers that 2 goes into. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And we can stop there for now. If we went to check later and it wasn't included, then we could come back to that. And then we do our 3. So we start with 3, 6, 9. And we can look at it and say there's no 2, there's no 3, 4, 5, but there is 6. Okay? And that's going to be our new denominator. So we still have 1/2 plus 2/3. But we're looking to see how we can get this to have the common denominator and add it. So 1/2 we're going to multiply by 3/3 to equal 6. Because remember, we're looking how to get this denominator to 6. And in order to get our denominator to 6, we would multiply 2 times 3. And here, what we're doing, you have to multiply the top number by the same thing that you multiply the bottom number. Okay? Keep in mind that 3/3 is equal to 1. Okay, they call it a fractional 1. And now we can multiply straight across. So we did that. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 3 is 3. And you do the same thing with 2/3. Okay, we look at it as 2/3 times what is going to get me that denominator of 6. Well, I know 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6. And then what we do the bottom, we have to do the top. So that'll be 2 times 2, or 2/2. And then we can look at it as 2 times 2, which is 4. So our problem here at the top changes into a different sort of problem. We now have 3/6 plus 4/6. Since the denominator is the 6, we can add straight across. Okay? And we'll bring it down. 3 plus 4 is 7 over 6, which we can then simplify into 1 1/6. Now how did we get 1 1/6? That's because we know that 6 goes into 7 one time. And we can look at it as subtracting 6/6. And I'm going to erase this part here so that there's a little bit more space, if it lets me. Sometimes it doesn't. Oh, we'll do that instead. So we can look at it as 7/6 minus 6/6, because 6/6 is a fractional 1, just like our 3/3, which leaves me 1/6. Okay, so how's that related? The 6/6 here is the 1 here. The 1/6 here is the same 1/6 here. And so now, with that, we have our simplified answer. And that's my solution. So let's try another one. Let's do 3/4 plus 4/5. And I'm going to try to do this on one page, but we'll may or may not fit. Okay, so I'm looking for the common denominator again. So I start with my 4. I have 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20. And we'll stop there. I usually try to do 5 or 6, but sometimes you need more, sometimes you need less. And we can do our 5s. So we have 5, 10, 15, and 20. And just by looking at it, we can see that 20 works for both numbers. So, how do we take 3/4? If we look back, we have 4/5 into 20. Okay, we can do 20 divided by 4 if we want, which is 5, and multiply. What we do to the bottom, we have to do the top, and then multiply. 3 times 5 is 15. And if we look back, okay, 4/5, we have the same thing. Okay, 4/5 times what? Goes over 20. Okay, 20 divided by 5 is 4. We do 4 over 4. Okay, because this here, remember, is 1. And then any number times 1 is that number still. Okay, 5 times 4 is 20. 4 times 4 is 16. So this problem becomes 15/20 plus 16/20. Okay, since the denominator here is the same, we can add straight across. So we will have 31 over 20. And that is an unsimplified answer. So what we then need to do is 31 over 20. And find out how many times it goes in. Okay? Remember that the fraction bar, the vinculum, is the same as divided. Okay? And so we know 31 divided by 20, 20 goes into 31 once, and I have a remainder of 11. So the way that that would look is 1 and 11/20. Okay? How did we get this part? Okay? The easiest way to do that, if you don't want to do this in your head, which is good to show your work, what you can do is 31 divided by 20. Okay, 20 goes into 3 0 times. Okay, 20 goes into 31 once. 31 minus 20 is 11. And it brings me back up to my remainder of 11. Okay, I have to keep this denominator of 20 because I'm saying that I have 11 pieces out of 20 possible. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know.